Hi, my name is Corey Neufer, and I am covering for Gozamos, the Chicago Latino Film Festival. And I have with us right now the director of Brazilians 180, Eduardo Weissman. Hello, Eduardo.
Hi, how are you?
I am fine. Are you exhausted? What has been happening here since you showed on the debut of the festival and now again tonight?
It's really great because you see people talking and seeing films and talking about your film. It's amazing how different kind of people receive the film and feel the film. And it's a pleasure to show the film in Chicago, such a special place, such a beautiful city with so life and cultural life, and so in a beautiful place like that. It's amazing.
Of course, going from Brazil to Illinois or to the States, there's going to be some cultural differences as well as similarities, things that surprise you. As the director, what are a couple more surprising or interesting responses you've had to the film, things that are universal, things that are not?
I think that the drama of the characters are universal. I think that the feeling, something very strong here is the solitude of the characters in the end of the film. Everybody feels it and become touched about it. This in Rio was a little bit different in Brazil and in Cuba and in other places where have I screened already the film. But here it was very powerful how they feel the loneliness of the characters in the end of the film.
Yeah.
And for me it was very interesting too that they laugh in many parts of the film where I would like that the people will gonna laugh. And sometimes it's difficult to make some funny things out of your country, but it works, so I was very, very happy.
Sure. You mentioned Cuba. What other countries have you shown the film at, and do you have a long list ahead of you?
We have shown in Cuba, here in United States. Next month it will be on France, in Paris, and then in Argentina and Uruguay and Spain and Portugal. This is more or less our way.
Watching your film, it has a certain type of style, which I'm sure is indicative of you as putting your stamp on what your style is. But it's also a critique, I think, of films that you would like to see. I don't know, because you're not copying others. I mean, it's your own type. What do you think are certain aspects of the film that are very much you? Without giving away too much of the film.
I think that there is one thing, I always think about what I will do. So if the camera make a movement, there is a reason. If the close is like in a way, it has a reason. If the open title scene has a way, it's because I think about it. It's not just, let's do this by doing this by fun or something like that. I think about each step on the film, and I think that the small feelings of the characters is something that really have to do with me, and I'm very connected with them, but I have tried not to judge them. I think that this is something important in the film, because nobody say, he's right, he's wrong, she's a silly person. They are really person. I like to have characters with blood and passion and everything.
One aspect of your film that's talked about a lot is the nonlinear storytelling. Was this something that you thought about right at the beginning, or did it organically kind of show itself as you were thinking of how to put everything together?
The script is already in a nonlinear way, but when we finish editing the film, we saw it and it doesn't work, because there is a non-linear way, but the scenes are not matching in the right position. So we begin to play as scramble pieces, And then we have tried to rebuild it, each scene in a new place, and take one scene from the end, put in the beginning, one of the middle and put in the end, and things like that. And then when we have a cut that we like it, we begin to show to some people, and then we listen to some people and change things a little bit. So it's a constant process, and sometimes we get one scene and change the place, and the film was a mistake. Nobody understand it. So it was a very, very, very important part of the film, how to put the scenes in a order that makes what we want to make to the people.
Yeah.
And then we finally get this form of the film.
Yeah. There's obviously a lot of different qualities of films represented at the Film Fest, as well as people in attendance. Specifically, what I'm trying to say is a lot of students that are going to be watching these films and thinking about movies that they are wanting to make and have yet to make. Can you talk a little bit about the frustrations of trying to make a movie, not just putting it together, but getting the money, the funding, just a couple things that are really coming to your mind right now?
For me, the worst thing is that we in Brazil, we make a film every 5 or 6 or 7 years if we are lucky. It doesn't depend if your film is good or not, if you make success or not. It's the way that the things are in Brazil. So it's very frustrating that I made a film 1 year ago, and then I'm trying to write a new story and raise funds for it, and probably in the next 5 years I'll make another film. Yeah. And everybody needs to practice, and we love to make films. I love make films. So 5 years without doing a new movie, this is something that is really difficult for us in Brazil and in Latin America. I think here is a little bit different because people, I think that when you make a film, a success film, you can do the other and things like that. And so for me, this is the worst part.
Yeah. In terms of technology and filmmaking, what are some leaps in technology that have eased how difficult it is to do this, or are you at a level where it's still quite difficult?
If there is some kind of technology that
well, we could even talk about like the social media. You yourself, we had talked a little bit earlier about Facebook or even Twitter. But like here we have had a flip camera, for instance, that's caused a lot of people to be able to make HD quality films. I don't know. What are your thoughts on any of that?
I think it's great to have new technologies and to be easy to do films and to shot and to edit. It's very good. But someone told something to me that it's very interesting. Everybody knows how to write, but not everybody is a writer. This is the difference. It's the same difference. It's very cheap to have a pen or a pencil and a sheet of paper, and you can write wherever you want. But not because of that you become a writer. This is different. But it's very good that everybody knows to write and can write and have a sheet of paper.
Eduardo, it's very, very clear after watching the movie that you are definitely a writer, and you've surrounded yourself with amazing writers and people who understand the mechanics behind telling a great story. What do you have in store for your next movie? What are you starting to think of?
I have 2 other films that I will probably do in the next 6 years. One is a film for a child. It's a story of a little girl that travels around with a magic, I don't know how to call it, some very Brazilian that you lay down and you just, and she travels around for all over the world with this. And I have a comedy for adults. It's a story of a building, and one day the doorkeeper just disappears. And then it's 1 week in this building without a doorkeeper. That is a very important figure in Brazil. Yeah. because it takes care of everything and take care of the building and of the garbage and everything. So one day he just disappeared.
Well, this is very exciting. I can't wait to hopefully cover your next film. If I have to wait 5 years, I guess I will. So, Eduardo Weissman, who directed and is featuring the movie 180 that's playing at the Chicago Latino Film Festival.